Fuck, I can't get it open. I was gonna start it so dramatically with the can opening. There we go. Well, guys, the can is cracked. You know what that means. Welcome to the Yapping Bit. Today's bevy of choice is none other than a crisp can of Diet Coke. Actually, I don't know why I'm lying to you guys. It's regular Coke. I'm sorry. I should be transparent. I value transparency. Guys, it's April. How the hell is it April? I feel like it was January 3.5 minutes ago and I blinked and now it's April. What's so funny is as I was preparing to record today, I always take notes, right, on the stuff that I want to talk about so that way I don't forget anything. And as I was making my customary list, if you will, of everything that's happened pretty much since the last time I recorded an episode of the Yapping Bit, the list was vast. It was long. And for like 5 minutes, I could not for the life of me figure out why. I was like, why has so much happened this month? That's crazy. And then I remembered that I haven't talked into a microphone for my podcast since before Fangirlmageddon, which was when I did 2 conventions back to back and I went to Felicia Day's book tour in like the span of 2 weeks. And ordinarily it's a month between episodes, but it's actually been like a month and a half because I recorded last month's episode in the middle of the month, which is not normal for me. And I'll get into the fangirl-esque energy of it all during the fandom bit. But in the past month and a half or so, I've done like a ton of traveling, which I haven't traveled really before all of this stuff that I did in end of March, beginning of April, whatever, since probably when I went to Nashville last like Halloween weekend, right? I forgot how like sometimes exhausting it is to have like a traveled day where it's like traveling is just the whole fucking day. Like, oh my God, your day is gone. Also, when I was traveling to Kansas City, it was in the middle of that giant TSA government shutdown, ICE being in the airports for no fucking reason. It was in the middle of all of that. So, like, it was just an ungodly amount of hectic and chaotic and ridiculous. Thankfully, the airports that I had to go through TSA at didn't have any ICE officers there, and there weren't, I didn't wait in these hour-plus long, like, however many hours it was. People were waiting in some places for, like, 5 hours to be able to get through TSA. So I got to the airport super early both times, like 3 or 4 hours early, just in case, even though these were very small airports. And I never had any issues, so I'm really glad that I wasted that hour sitting in the terminal at the airport. But it was cool to see places. I mean, I can't remember, I don't think I've ever been to Richmond, Virginia, which is where one of the cons was. And then I'd never been to Kansas City. And I actually really liked Kansas City. Everyone was asking me if I had tried barbecue. I did not know barbecue was like a big thing in Kansas City. I'll be honest with you. Sorry, I don't keep up on the Missouri times, okay? I'm sorry. But I actually didn't. Like, I didn't have any barbecue while I was there because on the first night that I was there, I got Domino's and that lasted me 3 days. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy food if I don't have to because money's tight, guys. The economy is kind of garbage. Sorry, I don't know why the ketchup is feeling a little bit like Emmy's venting hour right now. Let's get into some positives. Speaking of traveling, I actually don't have any plans to travel currently, like anywhere. Is that in part because flying places has become so astronomically expensive because our president is stupid? Yes. But also, a really exciting development in the past month. You guys know that I volunteer at a cat shelter near me. They have been urgently looking for people who are willing to be a foster home for litters of kittens, because spring, I guess, I didn't even know this, but spring is kitten season, and they needed someone who was willing to be a foster home. And it just so happens that the basement of my house that we've turned into an apartment for me has a little office that's extended off. So, like, I have the perfect space to be able to foster, like, a litter of kittens and potentially a mom. So I'm all registered. I'm signed up to be a foster home, and quite literally at any point between now and maybe, like, June or July, I could get a call from one of the heads of the shelter telling me that there are kittens that I need to pick up in, like, a very quick turnaround time. So, and age-wise, they could be anywhere from, like, just a pregnant mom all the way to like up to when they're about ready to be fixed or spayed or neutered, whatever. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be like tied up with these kittens. But because I was already like a registered volunteer at the shelter, all I had to do was sign a waiver. So I was like, it's so easy to get signed up for it. They provide everything for you. I won't have to pay for anything at all. It's quite literally just my time and energy that I'll be devoting to some kittens, which like, honestly, you know, twist my fucking arm, I suppose. You know what I mean? I haven't really talked about it on social media, though, because I'm not sure if for sure it's going to happen. Like, they have multiple foster family homes on lock. They just needed a couple more because they were short this year and I volunteered. So there is a chance that I quite literally will not be fostering kittens. And I already have like friends and family and people in my life who are texting me or like talking to me every once in a while and being like, are there kittens yet? And I'm like, hey, respectfully, with so much love in my heart, the nanosecond there are teeny tiny little baby kittens in my house, you're gonna know. It's going to be on every billboard. Everyone's going to be aware. I'm going to send out a mass email to everyone that I know. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. I also got a new camera this month for all of my social media-y type stuff and just generally to have a camera because I do love photography. I feel like I don't talk about this really, but I love taking pictures. I love photography. And I didn't realize how much having like a professional camera would elevate everything that I post, everything that I'm doing on the internet. Even like my videos are performing better, which it's like people are always online trying to tell you this is how to go viral. This is how your videos are, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All of it's bullshit. I'm being honest with you. Sure, having a video go viral is great. It's better to have consistent viewership though. And I feel like that has been achieved with just having a higher quality content that you're posting. Just have good lighting, you know? Like the videos that are higher quality are generally doing better, which especially on like Instagram, because TikTok is garbage now. I could go on and on about TikTok. God fucking damn it. With the AI stuff that they're doing, good lord. But I am noticing videos perform better when they're recorded on my like high-end camera. Alrighty, let's get into the feelings bit. And I feel bad now. I feel bad. I feel like I started this podcast off with basically just me venting about travel. And now I've designed the feelings bit this month to not necessarily be like an emotional, heartfelt little hug, but it's more of just like, I'm trying to think of a word that's not angry to use, but that's pretty much it. Everything I am about to say, I say knowing damn well that I am an influencer who relies on short form content and the scrollability of platforms like Instagram, like TikTok, all of those things, right? So like I'm saying all of this with that lens on. I'm wearing the glasses that make me aware of all of that, okay? The world is falling apart because everyone is addicted to scrolling on their phone. And I'm talking about this because it's something that I am so violently struggling with right now. We live in a world where I can do almost whatever I want, I would say. Wait, pause. I'm sorry. I know I'm mid-rant, but my dog is snoring. Did you hear that? Yeah, she's snoring right now.
Muffin, come here. Hi, honey. You can nap, but you can't snore, honey. I know. Do you want a snack? Here's a treat. You want a treat? You're such a good girl.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get the crunch on my... Can I get the crunch on the mic? I'll be honest, the truth is I didn't give her a treat. I gave her exactly one Cheez-It, and now she's sitting here wanting more Cheez-Its. Yeah, I'm eating Cheez-Its while I record my feelings bit of my podcast. What about it? This is derailed. What was I saying? Oh yes, right. We live in a world where I can pretty much do almost whatever I want, right? I could wake up at 8 a.m., do a workout video, read a chapter of a book, have breakfast, brush my teeth, do my hair, do my skincare, do everything in about an hour, right? And then I would have time still before I had to hop on my computer for work at 9, right? Right. But do I do that? No. No, I don't, because I wake up and I lay in bed, right? And I scroll on my phone looking at apps that are deciding how my time is being spent for me. Think about it, right? If you spend an hour scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever other scrolling app you choose, right? That hour of your life is being chosen by an algorithm because Instagram is showing you what it wants to show you. You are no longer choosing what to do with your time. The apps are choosing what you're doing with your time. My screen time, I'm not joking, used to be upwards of 12 hours a day on my phone. That's almost my whole day. Since I stopped waking up and scrolling on my phone and then scrolling in my phone at bed at night, let's see what it is now. Let's see. Oh my God, 4 hours and 50 minutes. Hey, and it's down 31% from last week. So I've been doing this more and it's been going down more and more each week. I would love for it to go down even more, but like just the nature of being a person who creates content, you have to use your phone to edit videos and those different types of things, right? So I have to use my phone for a lot of different things. And that's where like the 5 hours, 4 hours, whatever comes from. And that makes sense. I'm spending about 3 or 4 hours a day working on my content stuff. Yes, correct. But we understand that this means I was spending about 7 hours a day just mindlessly scrolling on my phone and not doing anything that benefits me, right? Because that's what I've begun to understand. And I'm not saying that going on social media is something to cut out altogether. Absolutely not. Why the fuck would I, of all people, say that to you? Social media can be wonderful. It was designed to be community initially, I guess. In small doses, it can be wonderful. I love having favorite creators that I specifically go and seek out and see what they're posting and what they're doing, those different types of things. But we need to stop, and I'm saying this about myself as well, because I still think I could do it less. We need to stop viewing scrolling mindlessly on social media as like a feasible pastime. Bring back hobbies, guys. Bring back like reading, journaling. I started journaling. Guys, fucking journal, man. I have so many different journals for so many different things. I am doing better at my 9-to-5 job. The work feels less overwhelming. Because I'm not scrolling in bed in the morning, I have time to eat breakfast. Actually, like, sit down and enjoy breakfast when I'm not on the clock, which is not something I ever used to be able to do. I forget where I saw this, but I saw someone at one point describe scrolling as the modern day slot machine. Right? And I mean, think about it. When transport yourself to a casino right now. Imagine you're sitting in front of an actual slot machine. It's the same motion, right? Pulling down, scrolling is a downward motion, right? Pulling down, the numbers go up, or whatever it is goes up. So you're just, like, visualize the spinning of a slot machine, and it's what scrolling looks like. And it's the same sort of dopamine hit, right? Is this going to be a winner? Is this going to be a winner? Is this going to be a winner? But it's every video being, am I going to like this video? Am I going to enjoy this photo? Whatever. And it's designed that way. It's designed to be like an insane dopamine hit for you. Because they want you to be on the apps for as long as physically possible. Because the longer you're on the app, the more they can advertise to you and the more money they make. They're still making money off of you. You're just giving them your time instead of your quarters. And if you're viewing time as a level of currency, I would argue it's even more vital a currency to keep to yourself than money is. Everything is just designed to fry your brain. And the reason I'm talking about this, right, is because I was getting scared. Like, I would be sitting on my phone scrolling and I would feel myself want to stop, but I couldn't. And that's when I was like, I have a fucking problem. Like, what do you mean I can't stop? Next time you're mindlessly or maybe you're mindlessly scrolling while you're listening to this podcast. Next time you're mindlessly scrolling, feel yourself like where you're at energy-wise and think, if I wanted to put my phone down right now, how difficult would that be for my brain? How difficult would that be? And we all sit around, right? And we all think we're better than the people who are addicted to their phones, because I sure as shit did. But when I had that feeling where it was like, man, I have got to stop scrolling, and I was just still, as I'm thinking I need to stop, I'm still doing it. When you realize how actively addictive it is, it fucks you up, man. Oh my God. I guess this is just, I don't know why I wanted to talk about this during the feelings bit. I think it's just because the loss of scrolling as an active form of pastime has been so good for me. I've been writing more music. I have been reading more. My video content has gotten better that I've been making. My space is cleaner because I value it more because I'm not always looking at my phone. I'm looking at my space. I'm a better friend because I am seeking out connection through other means other than social media. I've been journaling. I've been doing exercise videos on YouTube, just like the fun dance ones. I take my dog on walks every day. I remember the little tasks that I have to do to keep everything running in my life. I've started watching like instructional singing videos, so that way not only can I sing better, but I can sing healthier. I'm trying to learn things. I have a notebook now where I just will watch informational videos and write notes and learn things. Develop hobbies. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, take your time back. Oh my God. Go look at your screen time on your phone and check how long you're spending on your phone every day. There are only so many hours in a day, and all of those hours belong to you. They do not belong to Instagram. They do not belong to advertisements. They do not belong anywhere but you. Okay, let's get into the Rex bit next, I guess. You know what's so crazy about this month is ordinarily, right, I come onto the Rex bit and I'm like ready to tell you guys about all the movies I've watched, because I will sit and I will watch movies. I fucking love watching movies. Movies are one of my favorite things in the entire world. I love going to the movies, and not for nothing, there are a lot of really good movies out in theaters right now. I am dying to see the drama. I am dying to see Project Hail Mary. I am dying to see Yumi in Tuscany. I am dying to see so many of the movies that are in theaters right now. But I have not been watching movies, guys. That's the honest truth. I checked my Letterboxd before I recorded this, because I always do, because that's where I keep track of all the movies I'm watching. I have not sat down and watched a movie since March 6th. That's completely unethical. Maybe tonight I'll watch a movie or something, now that I'm thinking about it. That's actually really depressing. But this past month, I have been watching TV, like series, like shows, and I've been reading. I know. Guys, that was me dropping my phone just now. Guys, I know. Hold your applause. Calm down. Everyone sit down. Put your pants back on. I know. And I could hear the burning question. Emmy, what has you so enthralled that you have not watched a movie in like over a month? I will tell you, besties. When I went to GalaxyCon Richmond, right, I was staying with my cousin. My cousin Caroline, shout out to my cousin Caroline and her fiance Michael, who I love so deeply and so dearly. The two of them have spent, and I'm not joking, years trying to get me to read anything really by Sarah J. Maas. And I take their recommendations very seriously, but I'm generally not a romantasy person. I'm not really a fantasy person. Anything where it's like I have to understand a whole new world, I'm like, that's a lot. I'm like, that's a lot of energy that I don't fucking have. But my cousin Caroline and her fiance Michael were saints, and they let me stay in their apartment for the whole weekend at the con, and they didn't even go with me. They were just like, yeah, come and hang out, and we can get dinner and have fun and hang out, and we would chat for hours. And like, they didn't, like, I didn't have to give them any money. Like, they really just wanted me to, were like totally okay with me just showing up at their house on a random Friday in March and hanging out for the weekend. Like, they're so nice about it. And I was like, what could I possibly give them as a thank you, right? Like, it's so nice of them to open up their apartment to me, and their apartment was so lovely, and they have these two cats that are so wonderful, and I had such a great time. And I was like, what could I possibly give them that would be enough of a gift? And the answer that I landed on was I would spend multiple hours on the way to their house listening to the audiobook of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I didn't tell them I was doing it. So that way when I walked in and I looked at them and I started talking about Feyre, they lost their shit. So yes, I am in the midst of my first ACOTAR read-through. I'm on book 2 right now. And I think it's safe to say that I'm back in my reader era. I love reading. I love having TV in my head. I love romance books. I love fiction. I love characters. What's so funny is I actually work for, like in my 9 to 5, I work for the company that publishes Sarah J. Maas. So I can get like a crazy discount on those books. I actually, when I read the first one, I knew I was going to read all of them. So I just bought the hardcover box set. I want to say it's usually $150, but I, with my discount, was able to get it for like $40, which was insane. So if you've read ACOTAR, I guess, chat with me about it. I feel like it would be weird for me to, like, get into it, especially because this is a series, and if people read the first one, like, the other ones are very different, so I don't want to, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I'm having a good time reading it. As for TV, I feel like there's a lot of really good TV happening right now. Obviously, The Boys just came back. I still have to watch the most recent episode where Jensen, like, had his shirt off and whatever. I don't even know. I just haven't had the time to sit down and, like, actually diligently watch it, because I've started making, on my social media, like, commentary almost videos about The Boys. And people seem to really like them. So now when I'm watching that show, I'm like taking notes on things that I could be like making videos about. So it's difficult to like, I have to sit down and really, really pay attention and think about it. But so far, I think this season is stronger than the 4th season. I said this on my socials before, but I'm really ecstatic about the way that it's handling political commentary, where it is critiquing hateful voices without actually amplifying them and saying things that they're actually saying, because they're using this fictional world of starlighters to emulate like a lot of different types of people that the far right hate. I also spent the past month binge watching the first season and like half of the second season of The Pitt, and then I was watching it like as it was airing. So I am on Pitt Talk, babe. I'm all about The Pitt. I fucking love that show. That show is so good. And what like an interesting premise. Okay, so for those of you who don't watch The Pitt and don't really know, I mean, everyone kind of knows what The Pitt is now, but like what I didn't know going into it is that it's a 15-hour shift at a hospital, and every hour is an actual hour of their day. And watching it as a season is so crazy, because it's like you're watching something in episode 10 and they reference something that happened in episode 1, and you remember, you're like, oh my god, it's the same day. They must be fucking exhausted. And before anyone asks, my favorite character of all time on that show is Dr. Melking Yes, God. I love you, Dr. Mel King. You've never done anything wrong. You're perfect. I love her. And then finally, I know I've talked about it on this podcast before, where I am a really big fan of The Handmaid's Tale. I loved the show. I have the book. I started reading the book at one point, but then I got like busy and I didn't get to finish it, and then I forgot, so I was like, I would have to start it again. But it is on my list of things to read. I love The Handmaid's Tale. I think it's a phenomenal body of work. I'm sure the sequel is also a phenomenal body of work, and I believe it, especially because The Testaments is now happening on Hulu. And guys, it's fucking great. Oh my God, it's so good. The two girls on that show who are playing Agnes and Daisy are absolutely phenomenal. One thing that I really was not expecting, and this is just for people who've seen The Handmaid's Tale, I'm really sorry if you haven't, but I was expecting to love Agnes, Hannah, a lot more because of how, like, obsessed June is with her, you know? Like, you're really rooting for her in The Handmaid's Tale. But in The Testaments, we meet Agnes, who used to be Hannah, June's daughter, right? And we meet Agnes, and because she has spent so much of her life growing up in Gilead, she's so conditioned to have that Gilead brain, and she's almost a little bit unlikable to me, but I'm not mad about it. Like, I want to keep watching it, and I want to keep watching her because I know about, like, the potential that she has as a character and all these different things. But I just think it was such an interesting route to take it. Like, and that's just me also, I think, loving complex female characters. Because Agnes is so complicated, and Daisy is so complicated, and I love that this show is, right as of right now, led by these two incredible women, these two incredible actresses, who I've never heard of before. Like, I want them to go on and do incredible things. I am slightly concerned, though, because I looked at the IMDb for this show, and it said that they were only on 5 of the 10 episodes, which is like, what? That doesn't make sense. But we shall see how it goes, I guess. I'm just really excited about it. I'm really happy to be invested in a lot of different shows right now. And, like, the books I don't know, guys. The series are kind of hitting it for me, whether it be TV or book. All right. Fandom Bit. Guys, this is gonna be stacked. I feel like I'm already going long on the podcast. Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Oops. Well, whatever. Guys, let's talk about Fangirlmageddon. Let's talk about the momentous events that have happened in the past month. I'm really excited. Felicia's book tour was so incredible. The setting, I think I posted videos of this, but like the bookstore itself was actually, I believe, like owned by the guy who writes the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, but it was like beautiful, gorgeous setup for the event. And I forgot how funny Felicia is, which is like difficult to do because she's Felicia and she's incredible, but like I forgot how hysterical she is. The panel was so funny, and she said so many meaningful things too. And not for nothing, like I think I said this on Instagram, but they handed us like physical copies of the book that had already been signed, and I was like, oh, I guess we won't get to talk to her. But no, like she pre-signed them, and then again, when people came through, if they wanted personalization, they could get personalization. So if people didn't really care about that, they could just leave and they didn't have to talk to her or anything. But like, obviously everyone pretty much stayed to talk to her. I work in book publishing. So like when I was talking to her during her panel, she had mentioned that there was like a gold kind of foil on the jacket of the book. And I was like, man, that's kind of expensive. She must have had to fight for that. And she was talking about how she really wanted it and she fought for it. And then I got to talk to her in line, and I was like, hey, so here's the thing, I work in book publishing. And she was like, do you really? I was like, yeah. And she was like, cool. And I was like, yeah, well, here's the thing, I know how hard you had to fight to get that gold foil on the cover, because I know how expensive that is, and I know how much you had to probably fight for it. Need you to know it was worth it, and I appreciate it. And she was like, you know, I did have to fight for that foil. It was so cute. She's so adorable. I love Felicia. GalaxyCon Richmond was incredible too. I mean, meeting Manny Jacinto was like insane because I'm a diehard fan of The Good Place. I love philosophy. I think that show is one of the funniest, most creative shows ever. I think it's one of the shows in the world that is perfectly bookended and ends correctly. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you see shows like Supernatural that are ended and you're like, I don't feel satisfied with that ending. That show lasted exactly as long as it needed to last, and it ended perfectly, and I love The Good Place for that. But I told Manny Jacinto this story about how, like, my mom wouldn't like it when I had The Good Place on because she thought his character was annoying. And he was like, I mean, yeah, my character's freaking annoying. And I was telling him about that, and I was like, but then my mom went to the movie theater one day, and she saw this movie called Freakier Friday, and he's in Freakier Friday as a love interest. And he said, oh, really? I said, yes. And then she came home that day, and she said, you know what? I mean, I think I was wrong. I think you can have The Good Place on whenever you want. And he thought that was so funny. He was like, that made my whole day. He was like, is your mom here? I said, no. I drove like 10 hours to be here, so she couldn't come. And he was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, yeah, I know. But he thought that was so funny. He was like, please tell your mom I said hello. I also saw Tyler Hoechlin, who I haven't seen in like 4 years. He obviously didn't like remember me or anything, but he was like super sweet and super awesome. And he's very like, you know when you're like hugging someone or like putting your arm around someone for a picture and you just are like, wow, you're sculpted. That's what it's like when you hug Tyler Hoechlin. And I don't say that in like a thirsty fangirl way. I say that as like an objective biology way of like, Jesus Christ, have you ever had a carb? Your brain runs on glucose. Where are you getting it? But I feel like when I was at GalaxyCon Richmond, Tyler Posey really just was another level of so wonderful and kind to not only remember me, but to, like, before his photo ops even started, come out into his line and put his arm around me and give me a hug and talk to me and ask where he saw me last and, like, chat with me and, like, and I told him about, like, maybe doing a video with him because I had talked to his manager earlier that day, and he was like, oh my god, yeah, totally, whatever you want. And he just, like, hung out and he was talking to people in line. He's just such, like, a genuine, real dude. I think I've said this before, but he reminds me so much of Jared that way. Because, like, you go to see Jared and he gives everyone such individual attention. Tyler is exactly the same way. He will chat with people. He will hang out with people. You are not there to meet Tyler Posey. You are there to hang out with Tyler Posey. And he is one of the best people ever. And I did end up getting to do a video with him, which was super exciting and super cool. The most insane thing, though, was when I was talking to his manager and I, like, introduced myself. I explained my thing. And I was like, yeah, I do this thing at cons. Sometimes I talk to actors and I say, should people be nervous to meet you? And then they are basically just like, no. And it's, like, debunking people's nerves of meeting actors from the source. And he thought that was really cute. And I was like, yeah, so, like, I'm not sure if Tyler would want to. And this manager, his name was Brett. He was so nice. He was like, well, I mean, if you're here and you have a press badge, I have nothing but love, trust, and respect for you. So absolutely come back later and we'll talk to Tyler and we'll do it. And to be trusted that way, because I have had experiences where I've not been trusted that way. I have, let's just say, been treated like crap and garbage on a shit floor. So for not just Tyler, but Tyler's manager to be so unbelievably kind to me and so unbelievably sweet and wonderful, it meant more to me than I think Tyler or Brett will ever know. And I am going to post him answering that should people be nervous to meet you at cons question, by the way. I have to check the GalaxyCon website and see when his next con is because I want to post it before that. So that way people going to that con will see it and know that they can go meet him because he's wonderful and lovely. Also, at one point, we were waiting for him in his line to come back from, I think he was having lunch or something, but I was in his line to get my op signed. And he came back, and instead of just going to his table, he stood at the end of the line and tapped the person. And at the end of the line, I was like, I'm so sorry, can I go in front of you? And they did like a double take, and they were like, oh my god. And I was like, oh, do you want to hop in front of me, brother? And he was like, no, I would never cut you in line. And I was like, what are we? Planet Comicon was also obviously super amazing. I don't know how, but Sam somehow had no idea that I was going to be there. So I walked up and she like lit up and she was like, you came all the way here? And I was like, well, yes. What do you think? What, you think just because you're in the Midwest, I'm not going to pop up and say, hey? Have I not established myself well enough to you? She was so cute though. I mean, when she didn't have anyone at her table, we were just like hanging out and vibing. At one point, because I talked a little bit on my Instagram about the Nothing Bundt cakes that were there. And at one point I told her about the Nothing Bundt cakes and she was like, can you go get me a Bundt cake? And I did. Like she handed me $10 and she was like, can you go grab me a Bundt cake? And I was like, this is such a quintessential experience to like my life right now. Seeing Jared was so great too. I hadn't seen him in like a minute. And I was there on Saturday and he was there on Saturday, but he didn't see me at all because I had VIP for Sunday. So I was like, I'll just do everything with him on Sunday. And I'm not kidding. During like when I was standing in the photo op line, there were a couple people in front of me, but like he could see where I was. He could see me. In the minuscule half of a second between one fan and the next, as someone was walking up to him, I think, he looked at me and he went, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And then before I could even react, he looked down at the fan that was in front of him. And he gave her like his undivided full attention because he's perfect. And I don't know how he does that, but he just switched off there. And everyone around me was laughing hysterically. And then it was actually really cute. Like when I walked up to him, he did a little like happy stim little dance with his arms as he was sitting in his little chair. It was so cute. I was fully planning to walk up and do like a picture that was a bit of like, I'm taller than you, haha, like put my arm on his shoulder as if I'm taller than him. But he saw me and he said, I'm hugging you, come here. And that was that. What am I supposed to do? Say no? Absolutely not. And I'm so glad that I didn't. Like, I'm so glad I just let the moment be what the moment was going to be because I love that picture so much. And then during my auto, because he was on crutches that weekend, so I saw him and we were chatting a little bit and then I was like, dude, you're on crutches. What the heck? Diva down. And he tried not to laugh like visibly, but Kristen, his handler on one side, and Cliff Cliff Klosterman. On the other side, both died laughing, and both of them were like, diva down, like laughing so funny just at the concept of that as a phrase. And then he started telling me that Jen had bought him some like leopard print cushions or something for his crutches, but he didn't think he could pull it off. And I was like, I think you could. Yeah, Jared's literally one of the best people in the world. He's so crazy because like his line is always so long and people will wait. Like if I didn't have VIP, I would have probably waited about 4 hours for an autograph with Jared. And you know what? I would have fucking done it. I would have done it because he is so wonderful and he makes it so worth it every single time. I love Jared. I know I feel like I talk about it literally every single time I'm on doing a fandom bit, but I love him so much. He's such a little star. And then there were 2 Momentus events this month. There was Kim's Momentus event about intuition. And honestly, as it was happening, it really just made me miss Kim Rhodes like a violent amount, but it also inspired me so much to go on that journey of like intuition and work with spirits and those different types of things. Because when I was a kid, I used to have those kinds of experiences a little bit. But when I was, oh my God, I believe I was 10, I went to a house that was like a historical home because the little like New England town that I live in was built in the 1700s. So everything in like the main area is like hundreds of years old. And as I was walking through this old haunted house, I wasn't sure if it was haunted. I mean, like I knew that Ghostbusters had been there at one point, but like I talked to my friends about it and I was like, I don't know, it's weird, right? But as I was walking through, I'm not kidding, I saw a face come out of the wall. And I think I was just so terrified at the time that I literally just shut out all of that stuff forever because I was 10 and I didn't know what it was. But now I'm 27 and I'm really interested in all of that stuff and I'm really interested in trying to open that door back up within myself. So that was like so inspiring, and I actually went out and bought a journal for my spirit work, my spooky work, if you will, anything ghost related, because I love that stuff and you guys know I love that stuff. And then at the time of recording this, Rachel's Convention from Your Couch event was actually today. Like it was earlier today. And it was so fun. I don't know how, but it really did feel like a convention panel. Like there were questions and people were hopping on to ask them. And if they didn't feel comfortable, Charlie would just ask her for them. We were laughing. We were talking about really deep things. It was really, really special. And I cannot stress enough that I love Rachel Miner so much. I love her so much. Is it a fandom bit if I don't talk about how much I love the women of Supernatural? No. No, it is not. Alrighty, now let's get into the question bit. As you guys know, as I have said every single question bit, you can ask me questions either by sending them to my email address, which is bestie.emmy@gmail.com, or you can ask them to me on Saturdays on my Instagram story, because I always do a little Q&A on there. The first question that I got was, if you were to host a panel at a con, whose panel would you want to host? And Lily, that is a good question. Because I mean, like, being a moderator of some sort at a convention would be fucking incredible. That would be such a dream. I feel like I could do it well also. I feel like this is probably predictable, but I would have to say I would love for it to be a Ladies of Supernatural panel. Like, give me Kim, Brianna, Sam, Shoshana, Elena, oh my God, who else? Rachel, Jen, Danielle, Lisa, Julie, Amy. The list really does just go on and on and on. And I've developed such a rapport with all of them that I feel like it could be really comfortable. Like, it would just be such a hangout sesh vibe type of panel, and those are my favorite. I love when panels are literally just hanging out. And I know I'm known for my really silly, crazy, whatever questions, but I have an English degree, and I'm like a writer, and I'm really good at crafting like serious questions too. I just don't think they're as fun, but I could do those too. Guys, this is all just me saying, hire me. Please. Hire me. The next question I got was if I've watched Heated Rivalry, and listen, this is from Juliet. Listen, Juliet, I would love to watch Heated Rivalry. My thing, I don't know. I have weird qualms with Heated Rivalry. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure it's really great. I just feel like, okay, walk with me. I feel like so much of Heated Rivalry has turned into straight women fetishizing queer men. And this is just my outside perspective, so maybe like internally in the fandom it's not like that. But it's just so frustrating because I know that show was created by queer people. And like, I think the one thing that turned me off a little was when they went on, I think it was the Golden Globes or something, and they walked on and they made a joke about how the show is predominantly watched by like moms, aunts, sisters. It just put me off because I feel, I don't know, like somehow in that one singular joke, they were able to minimize the importance of a female audience on a television show while also glorifying the overall public assumption that the show is predominantly watched by people who are not members of the queer community. I don't know. I'm really sorry that probably is obviously not the answer you were looking for. And what so sucks is I'm sure it's fucking awesome. Like, I'm sure it's awesome. I'm just so frustrated with the public perception of the show that I'm like, I don't know. I also know that the two actors who are playing the leads on that show have not, like, publicly disclosed their sexualities. But there is, I think it, what is it? Which one is it? Hold on, I'm looking it up. Hudson Williams. I think Hudson Williams has dated women in the past. And I've noticed that he's getting a lot more, like, opportunities, I want to say. General public adoration, if that's a good way to word it. And again, I could be totally speaking out of my ass here. I might be completely wrong. I'm not sure. I don't even go there in the heated rivalry fandom. This is just from my outside lens eye. I'm noticing Hudson Williams getting more, like, heartthrob status. And that makes me fussy. Guys, make some noise for Connor's story, I guess. Who knows? Maybe at some point I'll watch Heated Rivalry, like, for real, and I'll listen back to this and I'll go, wow, I was being such a bitch. I was wrong. But I don't know. I just think Heated Rivalry has given me a lot of interesting things to think about with the reception of how the public views queer movies and TV and literature. Especially because stories surrounding queer women don't always get that level of popularity that shows like Heated Rivalry get. I mean, and I just did this just now to check myself, but if you Google queer TV shows, the options that come up are predominantly stories about queer men. Think Will and Grace. Think Queer Eye, even. Love Victor, Young Royals, even Heartstopper to an extent. Even though that's about a large, different, vast amount of queer identities, the primary focus is on two queer men. Where is that love for shows like First Kill that was on Netflix in 2022? A lesbian vampire show. It was great. It kicked ass. It had one season and it was not popular. I guess I just get frustrated because shows about queer women are not usually successful because straight men do not value love stories of queer women. They only value it as a facet of porn. And I don't know. I feel like... Mind you, all you did was ask if I've seen Heated Rivalry. I'm so sorry. But I guess all of this is to answer that question where it's just I feel like Heated Rivalry is a really good example of what frustrates me about the very common perception of success in queer media. I do also want to say, though, that I do not fault anyone, obviously, for watching Heated Rivalry, whether you are gay, whether you are straight, whatever. I don't know. I'm sure, like I've said it 100 times now, I'm sure it's a fucking phenomenal show. I don't know. I've been frustrated with culture. Last but not least, Holly wants to know what my favorite character on The Boys is. Happy to answer, though that is also a very complicated question because I have a lot of answers for that. I have always loved Kimiko. I still do. I've met Karen Fukuhara. She's really great. I think Kimiko is one of my favorite characters ever on that show. I feel like this season people are really frustrated with the fact that she's not quiet, which makes me violently angry beyond visible recognition. Because now she talks, and she's awkward, and she's not just this badass who kicks ass. And I feel like people liked her a little bit more when she was a little more digestible, but now I feel like that she's talking, and she's funny, and she has these different cute little personality quirks. People are like, that doesn't match the girl who was a badass before, and people are very complicated with the fact that funny, quirky women can also be badasses. So... Kimiko, I love you. I also love Mother's Milk. I think intrinsically he is just a good fucking guy. I love his character. I love the journey he's been on across the 5 seasons so far. And I love Huey. Man, that guy just has so much fucking hope. He really does. If I was Huey, I would have fucking killed myself by now. Oh my god, Huey. Especially because for some reason, the showrunner, maybe it's Eric Kripke, maybe it's the writer's room, who fucking knows. They love to torture Huey. I don't know why. But if Huey Campbell can persevere, so can I. Alrighty, I think that'll do it for this month. Guys, I think this is longer than normal. I don't know if I should apologize or say you're welcome. But thank you guys so much for spending your time with me on my silly little podcast. I completely adore you. This is so fun. I'm so excited and happy that I get to be doing things like this just for funsies. And I can't believe people care enough to devote time to be like, oh yay, there's a new episode of Emmy's podcast out. That's crazy to me. So thank you so much. As always, stay sexy, stay yappy, keep the bits up, guys, and I will see you next time. Love you.